What's up? So I asked you guys to ask me your questions, and you guys asked a lot of them, so I'm going to do my very best to answer them thoroughly but also quickly, because I don't want this to be a very long, drawn-out questionnaire video. But the first one, I got to answer it because the people got to know. Slugs WRX asked, how do I like my eggs? Over easy, always like my eggs over easy. Simple as that. The next question is by Dioxide 41s. He asked, what's my next car? GTR question mark. I will throw all the questions on the video screen right now that when I'm answering them. Next car, I don't know, probably a truck, probably something I can use as a daily. GTR, R35 GTR, no, because all the YouTubers now have one, and also if I was to get a GTR, it's R34 or bust, but that would never happen. This taxi cab is reversing. Next question is by Yo Ponce. Asked, basically he has a misfire on number 2, and he asked if he needs to do long block or short block. Honestly, your first option should be to get a test done, a leak down test, and then short block. I mean, you don't really need to do a whole motor build, which is a long block. The difference between a long block and a short block: long block you do cams, heads, and your short block. Short block is just everything else besides cams, heads, and stuff like that. But I don't think you're going to need to do a whole motor build just for a cylinder 2 misfire. Get that checked out first, and if so, just have it rebuilt and possibly new spark plugs. Tuesday Low. Oh, she said, man, it looks good in white, thank you. Big Meech already answered you. That Gray WRX, what air intake do you have? I have a Cobb SF intake. I got that a long time ago. G Nutter, he asked, any future color schemes in mind? Oh, as of now, no. White on white for a while. I don't know what I would change to next. Honestly, I have no idea. Brad Gallant 13, is there any other motorsports you like to get into, like drifting? Actually, if I was to get into it, go-karting. I don't know if you really consider that a motorsport, but like go-karting would be really cool to do. I think it's a lot different. Not a whole lot of people out there do it that I know of, like people on YouTube. A lot of people on YouTube want a drift car, something like that. But yeah, go-karting would be what I would want to do. Wheelwell asks, what is my dream car? I mean, an 04 STI is always my dream car. This was my dream car. I have to say, at the moment right now, an NSX, an older generation NSX, is my dream car. Just that white, non-pop-up edition, or non-fixed headlight position, so the pop-up one. Something about them I really love. It was my dad's favorite car, and I just really want to own one for him one day. Scooter Mike 24, do your neighbors ever bug you about how loud your car is? So surprisingly, ever since I moved out, whenever I go back to my mom's place, the neighbors there don't like my car, even though I lived there for X a period amount of time, 23 years, 22 years. And now when I move back and I just start my car after like washing or something, because I washed it at my mom's place, they don't like it. So that's really weird. But now at the apartment, I've never gotten any complaints. Actually, a lot of people at my apartment watch my videos, so that's really cool. They've come up to me and said, oh, is that your car? I looked you up because I have my Cali WRX thing in the front. They looked me up and they watch my videos now. So old neighbors bug me more than my new neighbors do. Happily Ruined, whose car or what car was your inspiration as you built this? So when I first got my Subaru, one of the first guys I ever followed was Slugs WRX, a guy who asked a question on this build, or on this thread. Him when I first got my car was goals, and now we joke because our roles have switched. But his car, I don't know, something about he went through different phases. When I first started following him, he was white on white. Then he did this like cow wrap theme, and then he went black. Was it black? Forgetting now, but it was just his car. He really inspired me. He did autocross. He had probably one of the most actually driven cars on Instagram at the time. That was like a Subaru show build. But hey, he was definitely my inspiration. And then of course, like if I was to build a complete just straight show car, Artai on Instagram, if you guys know him, with the bagged hatch like mine. His is definitely, if I was to build a show car, his is what I would definitely go for. If you had to sell your car right now, how much would you sell it for? From Rudy Calmer 321. Actually, if I had to sell my car right now, I would part it out. I would try to make more money off selling parts than selling as is, because selling as is, I doubt not many people would buy it, because just the way it's set up, it's not like daily friendly or anything. So I don't know, if I had to sell it as is, I would want like 40s, but I know in my mind that would never happen, so I would have to part out first. Lucas Traurig, sorry if I butcher all these. If you could start all over with your build, what would you do differently? I would have gotten an STI first. I would have traded in my WRX, got an STI, and that would start my build, because I'd have the Brembos, I'd have the 6-speed swap, I'd have the DC, CD, I'd have the STI mirrors. I would get a STI to start off my build differently, and then I also wouldn't go exterior mods first. I would definitely do performance mods first, and that's how I would redo if I ever did my build again. ETH Nation asked it if I ever will go wide body. If I was, I would do fender flares, but that'd be at the very end of this process, because that results in having to get wider wheels, wider tires, cutting the fenders, something that you definitely have to go all in, because if you don't go all in and you half-ass it and run spacers and stuff like that, you're just ruining it. There's no point of doing it unless you do it the right way first. And if I wasn't to do fender flares, even though I do not have the amount of money, the time, stuff like that, would be the Vars wide body kit. Text WRX on Instagram, he's got the wide body kit, and that thing just looks amazing. But man, that thing, but looking at the price tag, you could buy another car for that. Mag Blue Love, best/most memorable reaction to your LOL at your VTEC. I answered him on Instagram, but none. No one's really done anything about it except my girlfriend. She's like, oh, I got Boost, so I put a Rally Sport license plate saying I love Boost on her car, but honestly, no one's ever said anything about it. Slugs WRX once again asked, legit question for people debating on going past stage 2. Would you stick with upgrading your WRX or upgrade to an STI, start over from there? And does what people owe on their car might factor in? So if you owe money on your car, I would not modify it. I would pay that off first. Get done building, or get done paying it off, and then start modifying it. Now, if you have a WRX, I would definitely say, if you're gonna be modding it as much as I did, or past stage 2, trade it in for an STI. Without a doubt, part out your car and just get the STI components, because the brakes, the transmission, the DC, CD, all that is gonna weigh into what you're gonna need past stage 2. Now, if you're gonna stay stage 2 or below on WRX, it's fine, go ahead, keep it, don't trade it in. But if you're gonna do some serious stuff with your STI, like track it, autocross it, time attack it, get rid of the WRX, go get an STI, and it'll just make your life a whole lot easier. Subi Love Shark, any new color scheme? Nope, like I answered before. Colton J098. How many miles should be the max I can consider when I purchase a used car in the future? Ooh. That's a tough one. Honestly, I wouldn't consider miles. I would consider doing a test on the car, making sure maintenance is always done on time, never late, or early would be fine actually, never late. Just make sure the owner was very meticulous with that car. Because if they upkept it perfectly fine and like did everything on time and just didn't beat, which most Subaru owners beat on their car, but like was super nice to the car, miles shouldn't really matter. Maintenance and all that would matter more than miles. I think I have time for one more question before I gotta stop. Thoughts on the new WRX or STI from Dylan in Buble? Why aren't we going? It's a green light. New thoughts? I don't like the body style, but I love the transmission, the steering rack, and that's about it. It's transmission and steering rack. So I like what they did with the transmission because it just feels so much more connected with the car. The shifts are much easier to do, just super crisp, super nice, super tight. And the steering rack is very much more precise and direct. But besides that, the body style doesn't do anything for me, doesn't tickle my fancy, doesn't make me giggle like a little girl or anything like that. It's just eh. Like people said, it looks like an Evo, it looks like a Corolla. Doesn't do anything for me, but I do like the new 2018s that they finally upgraded the brakes. That is amazing. Not only if they upgrade their motor to something a little more with the times, but right now I am gonna park, go in the gym, and then I think when I come back out, I'm not gonna drive. I'm gonna sit and try to answer the questions a little more in depth with you guys, because it's already at about 10 minutes in the video. So I'll see you guys in about an hour. All right, we're back. So just a couple more questions, but I'm gonna skip that one. Subi Jody, why is Palo Alto so shallow? I have no idea, man. It's just the people, I think, or some of the people here. Not everyone is so shallow here in Palo Alto. I think you should be more concerned of why are so many Chinese or Asian or un-Americanized citizens coming here. I think you should be more worried about that. Declan Cassini, when are you putting a cage in, and when are you getting a real daily? When your dad wants to sell the truck, maybe. No, but I don't know. Real daily, definitely saving for that now. Gonna be a truck probably, so I can tow this. As far as the cage, I want to do, I think I was gonna get the cage. Well, one, that thing is expensive to do a full welded in cage instead of like a half cage. So obviously when I get enough money and when I do enough track days, I don't want to dump a cage in, because that's a lot of money, and that means I'm definitely dedicating this car to track, like no more driving it around. But to get a cage, I think I want to do like 4 track days in a year. So yeah, after 4 track days maybe get a cage, but also when the time is right. John Loftus, any new cars in the foreseeable future? Kind of answer that just now, truck. But no other projects really. I can't afford another project car right now, especially because I don't even have a daily, so truck. And that's about it on Instagram. But I know on Facebook, I can't remember the name, or on YouTube, I can't remember the names. One guy asked me why did I take out everything in the back. Well, because I have the harness bar, so really I don't carry anyone in the back, and weight is weight, right? So I took everything out. Even though maybe it's only 1 to 2 pounds, weight is weight. It still is weight loss. Rear seats, I don't know, maybe 10 pounds, 15 pounds in total. But I left the bench in because I can use it to carry things on, and also without the bench on, it just rattles like a motherfucker. As you can see maybe behind me, the plastic trim, I just took that off because I had to get stuff off for the wrap. I never put it on after I took the wrap off, or put it back on after the wrap was off. And I realized I needed to take it off anyways again for the rear windshield wiper delete. So it's just been off since I took the wrap off in August. I don't see any reason to put it on. I mean, it's just sitting in the garage, so it does nothing at all. The plastic, it weighs nothing. It weighs maybe a pound in total, but it's better than having to put it back on, I guess. And then I don't have any of the tools in the back because, as you guys know, I have a surge tank. So, and also spare tire won't fit anymore because it's a WRX spare tire, which means it'll clear a WRX brake, but it won't clear a Brembo brake, I'm pretty sure. So no need for that, plus I have no space. Spare tire, all the tools, jack, stuff like that. That's like a good 40 pounds. Windshield wiper delete is probably 6 to 7 pounds. So I mean, in the end, I probably shed around 70-ish pounds. And then you have your seats and all that, but we're not getting into seats. But yeah, that's the reason I left back. How's the car on long haul, or how do I feel about the car on long haul, someone asked. Farthest I've driven it, I think, is with the exhaust setup I have, is the Snail Performance. And I want to say the exhaust wasn't that bad. It's just the surge tank. The exhaust, I've been used to loud exhaust all my life. It doesn't matter. But the surge tank is a sound that I can't even describe. It's something you can't tune out. So no matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you listen to the radio, that little whining pitch is always there. And it's kind of like, I don't remember if you guys knew this, but like, if you guys remember the Sound Grenade app you could have on your phone that was like that super high pitch that like sometimes some people could hear and other people can't. It's kind of like that. It's just, if anything, road trips, I would see myself getting more annoyed at the surge tank. But comfort-wise, I'm fine. no issues for long drives. Drone from the exhaust is fine, but just the drone from the surge tank. But I think that about covers it for all your guys' questions. If you guys have any more, please ask. I love answering them. I like interacting with you guys. But I think that covers it. So hopefully I did well. Hopefully it's a good enough, short enough video, but also filled with the right answers. If you guys have anything else, post them down below. I'll be sure to answer them either in the chat or I will answer them in next Friday's video. But anyways, guys, take it easy.